you know, you're a local lad as well. That won't be easy, the distractions of having all that noise. Real Madrid are a hell of an animal. I thought it was insulting, to be fair, from Real Madrid. I mean, they behave like that sometimes and think they can get what they want. But Liverpool, you know, are a football club of immense stature. They're never going to sell Trent Alexander-Arnold for 20 million quid to you in January. So you're taking the mick a little bit, you know what I mean? You're taking the mickey out of us. So I think that will have probably unnerved him this week. You can imagine his agents, his family all say, oh, what's happening, Trent? You can imagine that noise going on in his head before this game, which I don't think would have been helpful. I know that footballers...
Yeah, but they would have known what was happening.
OK, so you said that up there on the... Sorry, just to let you know, we're just on a podcast where he said he thinks that Trent's people will have invited the bid from Real Madrid. I think that's quite a big suggestion to make, personally.
No, what I'm saying is, we're not naive enough. These two lads have been involved in transfers. We haven't, but I'm not naive enough to think that Real Madrid would put a bid in January for a player who they can get for nothing in sort of 4 months.
Why would Trent's people say put a bid in when they know it's going to turn down?
Do you seriously believe that they don't know nothing about... So this bid comes in and they're sat at home, see it on Sky Sports News.
I know they know about it, but why would Trent Alexander-Arnold's people think it's a good idea for him, knowing Liverpool are going to say no?
Because he's getting a lot of criticism for the fact that he might leave for free. Now, if Real Madrid put a bid in January and then Liverpool don't accept it, maybe they can say at the end of the season, well, you were offered 30, 40 million. It's just, for me, it was almost to buy a little bit of time at the end of the season when if he goes for free, that they can say, well, Liverpool were offered 20, 30 million in January. There was no way Liverpool...
Daniel, do you think it's realistic, Daniel?
It's a lose-lose either way you go. If you leave for free or if you leave now, it's a lose-lose. Obviously, everyone that's involved in the football club should want him to stay. In these moments when a player is, you know, running his contract down, and I've been in a situation when I was at Man City as a young player, when you're in these moments and you're thinking to yourself, OK, you know, I want to stay at the football club. The club clearly known all this time that Trent Alexander-Arnold's contract was running down. We're now going to put it all on Trent and make out as if it's Trent's fault that Real Madrid have put a bid in when his contract has 6 months left. He's one of the best players in the world in his position, as is Mo Salah, as is Virgil van Dijk. Neither of the three of them should be in this predicament. So we can't say,
but presumably,
Trent...
Daniel, they've had opportunities to sign a contract at some stage.
Dave, we don't know that. We don't know if contracts have been offered and contracts were rejected. You know, obviously Jurgen's contract and him coming out last season saying, hey guys, I'm leaving. That was a spanner in the works for everybody, and I think the club were at panic stations. They're probably thinking, OK, our priority right now is to find the best manager to replace Jurgen Klopp. We'll put the contracts on the back burner. Maybe we can find, you know, we'll sort the guys out later on. But for me, to leave these three players in a predicament like this,
I said that to him up there. The club obviously have let these contracts all run down simultaneously, all three together. Three of the best players in the club, probably the most valuable three players in the club. And the problem is with football clubs, because I know I own a football club, when you've signed a player or you've brought a player through the ranks, it hurts you sometimes when you feel like you've got to pay for the transfer fee again. Do you understand what I mean by that? So like Mo Salah now, the economics of Mo Salah is he wants a 3-year deal at 400 grand a week, which is 20 million a year, which is 60 million. But to replace, if that's what he wants, he probably deserves that and should get it, because to replace Mo Salah, you probably have to pay 60, 70 million for a fee and 10, 15 million a year, so it'll cost you 120 million.
And there's no guarantee that player will come in and do what Salah's doing.
And for Trent, as being a young player who's come through the ranks at a club, you almost in some ways sometimes can get a little bit bullied, you know, by the fact that, oh, you've got to sign for us, you owe us, you know, we brought you through. There's a bit of that as well in a club. I'm not saying Liverpool are doing that, but there is probably another side to the story. But all I'm saying is the reason that he's been bad out there today can be one of two reasons. Well, three reasons. One, he has had games like that before and he can get done defensively. Secondly, he could just have a bad day. And thirdly, he could have just had all that noise in his head all week and distraction and just not been at it.
But you talk about him being a top player, and we know defensively he's not great, but the manager made the point, you made it there, about, you know, he's been left 1v1 and he needs help around him. But at the highest level, the lads have done it. You will be left 1v1s. That's part of being a top defender. There will be situations in games where you're pushing or you're pressing to get an equaliser, and you have to deal with 1v1, so that shouldn't be a big panic for a player.
The thing out there is that he's left 1v1 with Dallo. It wasn't Ryan Giggs.
Dallo in the first minute of the game, who's been turning back on his right foot and passing it round the way all week, went straight for him. The only thing I would say today about Trent Alexander-Arnold is I was disappointed with his defending. I mean, he didn't defend well, but he's done that before. I thought his passing, his forward play was probably the worst I've seen it. Because if you think about that pass at the end into midfield that obviously United get the goal from, he doesn't normally make so many mistakes on the ball. He's normally a bigger threat with his crossing, so I thought he was disappointing on the ball.
But you know, his contract situation, but I don't understand. There's a lot of negativity and local fans will be having a go at him. But if they don't agree a contract and he leaves, and the amount of games he's played for Liverpool is well over 300, he's won titles, and if Liverpool, why can't everyone show a little bit of class and say, listen, we can't agree a deal, but you're 26, 27, all the best to you. Like, sure.
Daniel, is that realistic?
Why can't that happen? Why can't a club say, well, we can't agree a deal with you. You've given us great service. He's not jumped ship after like playing for 2 seasons. Okay, the fact he's a local lad, but there's a business side to it as well.
You're right, but Liverpool, I mean, there's, like, say, Carragher and Steven Gerrard, who were like, Liverpool sort of like, they were in the city. You felt as though they were almost like they couldn't leave. Almost like lads that you knew already. Then you have lads, let's say, like Michael Owen, who was sort of slightly different in that, they see this journey of going playing for Real Madrid and playing in different parts of the world. Beck's at United, was at United from he was age of 13, but he wouldn't be where he is today if he hadn't left and gone and played for Real Madrid or AC Milan or P. Some lads, see the part of their career. So Liverpool's part of their career, Manchester United's part of their career, and it's brilliant and they love it. But then they want to go and explore. They want to go and do this. I think personally, when I look at Trent, he looks like a lad that wants to go and explore Real Madrid. He wants to go and play in different parts of the world, and that's what.
But their argument is also that they're not getting any money from him. But what about the service he's given
exactly.
them? And he might have been underpaid as a local lad.
We had this discussion, I think, with Jamie Redknapp a couple of weeks ago at the Tottenham game. There's sometimes frustration from Liverpool support. He's going to leave for free. He came for free. I've got no problem with that. It's like selling Virgil van Dijk in the summer for 75 million. You're breaking even. And again, it's his choice. So when I'm talking about Trent, I'm disappointed with the Real Madrid stuff coming out and that being the focus ahead of a big game, because all I think about, and the most important thing, is Liverpool.
Before Madrid, you had a problem with the situation as well. I'm saying...
Good point, Daniel.
I'm saying that...
So what was the problem?
The problem was that, how things are going and, we're hearing rumours and the contracts and the this and the that, and I'm saying...
Daniel, tell me what the problem was. That was just waffle.
What I'm saying, this is a simple question I have for you. Are you saying you are happy with Trent leaving for free, or are you saying you want money for him? Which one is it? You can't stay on the fence, Jamie, and say you either want him to stay and you want to sign a contract, or you want him to leave now and you want money. But you can't have it both ways. That's football. The fans... I'm a fan of Liverpool too. I love Trent Alexander-Arnold.
When did I say I wanted him to be sold now for money? And when did I say I was unhappy? No, stop. When did I say I was unhappy with him going for free? I have never, ever said I had a problem with him going for free. I've constantly said and defended him to other Liverpool fans and on this show that the lad came for nothing, and if he leaves for nothing, there should be no criticism for that. In terms of selling him right now, I'm disappointed because I know how transfer works, how football works. He will have known Real Madrid are putting a bid in. Real Madrid can do what they want. My problem is Liverpool are going for a league title here. It's January, and he will have known that, and that will kick up a fuss ahead of a big game.
It's the same thing as Salah. It's the same thing for Salah, though. You can't say one thing for Trent, a local lad who should be revered by the fans, like yourself.
I had to go with Salah.
No, I'm saying like yourself, like Steven Gerrard. Trent is one of you guys. He's someone who's been at the club from the academy. He's come through to the age of 27 years of age. Yeah. He's at a point now where the club have allowed his contract to get to this point. Okay, it wasn't Trent's fault.
We know
so the fact of the matter is, if Real Madrid decide, you know what, we're going to test the waters, they might have had a flirt up. We know our football. We know football. We know what's happening. They might have had a flirt up. That's not a problem.
My only problem with Trent, in terms of if he leaves, it's not anger or I'm not happy with him. It's probably disappointment, because when we've talked about Michael Owen going or Steve McManaman going, Liverpool weren't a top team. So you're thinking, OK, we're going to the biggest club in the world. The disappointment for me as a local player is that Trent is a local player. He's a Liverpool fan. Liverpool are on the verge of maybe this season equaling Manchester United in league titles, maybe win another European Cup. He could be the captain in 2 or 3 years and the guy who lifts these trophies. So Liverpool supporters will be disappointed, and that's where my disappointment comes from. If you're a Liverpool fan, that's like your chance to put the club... But he will think differently. But if I was in his position, that would be my mentality. I can put Liverpool in a position where we go above United in league titles. I could lift the trophy.
So you're saying you want him to stay and you want him to sign a contract?
So Gary, could I just ask Daniel on this? Is there a price where it becomes attractive then, right now, in January?
No, what I'm saying is, if the club want the player to stay, they offer him the money that they feel his agents have been asking for. Clearly, they've not met that value, because if they have, he'd have signed a dotted line. The same goes for Mo. The same goes for Verge.
You don't sell him now. You won't sell him in January.
No, don't understand it. The one thing I would say is what you have said about the 3 players is quite regularly, is that you see Trent Alexander-Arnold being different because he's a local lad and he won't be revered. So if Mo Salah leaves and Van Dijk leave, they'll still be legends. Whereas if Trent leaves, he won't be seen as legend because he's a local lad and he's almost left us. That's one thing you have said, which... I think Trent has to deal with that.
Do you think that's fair, Gary?
No, well, I know what he means by it, but to be honest with you, I think...
By the way, that's not my... I'm just telling you how the Liverpool fan base...
That's what you have said. So, Yeah.
And that is different. And I've been a local lad, and at times we do. I'm not always saying Liverpool supporters are right. I think sometimes some of the things are not harsh, but we are treated slightly different. Now, you're talking about Liverpool not matching what Trent wants.
I'm not saying that.
No, I'm not having a go at you, don't worry.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, though.
No,
I'm
my
not saying
point
that.
being is, there's no banner in the Kop saying give Trent his dough, but there's one for Mo Salah. There'd never be one there for Trent, because there's almost this feeling as a local player, you should be happy to play for him. This is an honour. You're one of us.
So maybe, Daniel, Liverpool have matched what Trent and his advisors want in terms of a contract. That is a possibility, but maybe he just wants to leave in the summer and wants to try something else. And if he does, is that fine by you?
I think he's been an incredible player for Liverpool Football Club, and whatever Trent wants to do with his career is his decision. I think Liverpool have had ample opportunity to sign the player, and guess what? I am a fan of Liverpool. I love Liverpool. I would love Trent to stay and to be like a Stevie G and like yourselves, where you lift
And what a way to go if he was to win the league.
Yeah,
of course.
But it's the important thing that whatever happens right now, that it doesn't derail what is happening for Liverpool this season.
What could derail it if he defends like he did for the rest of the season? Whatever happens at Liverpool, the fans were angry with him today. But whatever with the contract situation, they were angry with him because they're going, listen, you got to defend better than that.
So is that performance?
Footballing point.
Is that performance from Trent almost a chance for Arne Slot to use to help refocus his mind ahead of the 4 or 5 months ahead?
He's got to get his performances right, but it's not the first time. I mean, Trent's been taken off in certain games anyway at the end of matches to be able to.
No, but he's really bad.
He was taken off against City as well when I think Kwanzaa came on as well. He was taken off in other games this season. It's happened before. I'm not saying that he should have been taken off against City, but what I would say about Trent Alexander-Arnold is he has to have that choice. My view is that Real Madrid is a very appealing football club, and Liverpool's an amazing football club. So if he stays, he wins. But if he goes, I didn't want David Beckham to leave to go to Real Madrid when he'd been through the ranks since he was 13 at Manchester United all those years ago. But he wanted to take that journey and do different things and go to Real Madrid and sort of expand his life. I think Trent might have that in him that he thinks, look, I've achieved everything I can at Liverpool. I want to win the. There'll be no one more desperate to win the league than him this year, and Salah and Van Dijk. If they're going to go, they'll want to win the league. So if they win the league, wins 2 championships, 2 Premier League titles. He wins a Champions League trophy. He's done everything at Liverpool, so he can then go and play for Real Madrid.
Can I ask you guys? I want to ask you all a question here. Do you feel he's at the level now in his career where he should be revered in the same light as the Stevie
I don't
Gs
think he
and
feels
Rizals
respect.
and
I don't think he
those
feels
players?
respected.
In terms of
Do you
Liverpool,
think what he's achieved at the club since the
I
age
don't think
of
he is.
18 to 27, is he looked at in that same light?
That'll come. Listen, he's.
But it shouldn't come, Jamie. We're not talking about a 21-year-old. We're talking about a 27-year-old. International, won Champions League, Premier League, this, that and the third. We're not talking about a kid.
I don't think he is.
Hang on. Listen, well, I know a lot more than you.
Okay.
Listen, there's murals all around. You come in and you see murals of all different players. He was the first one who had one.
You'd have to do well not to have a mural in Liverpool. I mean, everyone's got a mural.
You haven't.
I have. He did have one, actually. But he's the scouser in our team. He is. He's Liverpool defend him to the hill. They absolutely adore.
You
what
know,
are you saying?
And I suppose there's another question.
You haven't got a clue what you're talking
there's
about.
2 things. One is adulation, to be fair, in Liverpool. He does get adulation, but not to the levels of, say, Robbie Fowler or Steven Gerrard or people like that. He doesn't.
He's a right back.
Right.
And he's a different
Oh,
character.
my God. He's a hell of a player, by the way.
But his career
and
hasn't
secondly,
finished.
But Gary, is that the kind of the character he is, though?
Maybe,
He's not
but-
a Robbie Fowler, you know that.
No, but maybe. But what I'm saying to you, he maybe
rough and ready.
But maybe one thing,
He's a chappy type of
his
thing,
performance levels. He's won more with Liverpool than any of those lads I've just mentioned. By the way,
He's absolutely adored by Liverpool fans. Where's this nonsense?
Secondly, I don't think.
He's
Secondly, and through probably people like
seriously.
us at times, probably people like, he can't even get time to get in the England team. So he probably doesn't feel he gets the respect in this country that he should get.
Thomas
for his
Tuchel was here today, by the way.
Yeah, but my point is, he'll probably feel like, hang on a minute, if any other country in the world had me, Brazil, Portugal, I'd be the star player. I'd be like, never even thought of being dropped. He can't even get in the national teams. We are a bit.
So are you blaming for that?
No, I'm just forget that.
Who are you blaming for that?
I said there's 2 different situations. One is Liverpool. Does he get the same love as Carragher, Gerrard, Fowler? No. Does he?
I can assure you, he gets a lot more than me.
Right. Okay. Secondly, I don't think he gets the love in the country as much as probably he should do.
There's people like you.
I just said I accepted the fact that I've been critical of his defensive performances. Roy's been critical today. We don't help sometimes.
Where's this idea come from? If he goes to Real Madrid or he's Brazilian or he's Portuguese, that these countries don't care about people defending?
No,
where's this come from?
They do, but my point is he probably just feels like he wants to maybe go and experience something else in his life.
And Gary, by the way, what would you do if Real Madrid came to your agent and promised the world?
I was literally anybody could come for me. I was never ever leaving my club. ever. It's never going to happen. And no one did come for me.
That was my next question.
As it happened. No, but my point is, I was never leaving the club. I was never in the position to either. But I would never in a million years leave United.
That is my own.
But that doesn't mean I was right. It doesn't mean the lads that left were wrong.
So I've
Let's
got no problem
draw it to a conclusion.
No, I've got no problem with him going. If he goes, I'll be like, good luck to you, free transfer, Real Madrid on your CV, biggest club in the world. I've got no problem with that. My only thing, and it's not anger or I'm angry with him, it's more just disappointment from because I think what I would have been in that position, I'd have loved to have been playing for the best team in the league or the best team. I never did that. And I just always thought in my head, as a local player, your job's to bring more trophies back to this club. And when you finish, can you be above United in league titles? Can you have 8 European Cups? He can do that at his club. That's just a disappointment from me.
He says that, but he'll have that mural down 10 minutes after he leaves. Him and his mates will be in the cars.
Yeah. Me and Robbie Fowler and Steve.
I hope he stays, man. I really do. I really hope that Trent stays at the football club because I want him to go down as a legend, and if he doesn't stay, I want him to go down as a legend.
He's already done well.
I think many neutrals would want him to stay as well because we just love watching him play. He didn't have a great game today, but we love watching him play.
I think he's got to
especially
go
going
for
forward.
it. I think he's got to go to that Madrid. Go for it, man.
So if they come calling, you're going to answer, is what
But
you're
Roy,
saying.
to be fair, it's interesting that you've said, since you've retired, you obviously had interest from Juventus and Bayern Munich, and there's part of you wishes you'd gone for it.
Yeah, for a player, I think, for that experience for him, and again, it's not as if he's played 50 games, he's played hundreds of games.
Yeah.
And James on about being the best team in the league. They might be the best team at this moment in time, but it's not as if they've won loads of titles. But he's got, and if Liverpool have dragged their heels with contracts, it's called a bit of self-worth. And the club comes in, if you like Real Madrid, then I'd say to the lad, go for it. Go for it. It's a short career.